Hello, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Hello, everyone. So happy you are here with us today.
Zubi, I am so excited about today's episode, like genuinely excited.
You say that every episode, Zubi.
And I mean it every time. Okay, but today is extra special, trust me.
I agree. Today's topic is something every woman has asked about at some point.
Yes, and before we get into it, hello to all our amazing listeners. Whether you are making chai in the kitchen, sitting in your office, walking to class, or lying on the sofa, we are so glad you are here.
We really are. This little podcast is our way of sitting down with you and just talking. No pressure, no exam.
Just two friends chatting in English, which, by the way, is already great practice just from listening.
Exactly. So relax, press play, and let's go.
Let's go! Okay, Leo, before anything else, can I just say, can we please ask our listeners for one tiny favor?
Of course. Go ahead.
If you have not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. It takes 2 seconds and it means the world to us.
And if this episode helps you even a little bit, press the like button. It tells YouTube that real people are actually learning from this.
And share it. Send it to your friend, your cousin, your colleague, anyone who wants to speak better English. You might just change someone's life today.
You really might. Okay, now let's get into today's topic.
Yes. Okay, Leo, today we are talking about speaking like a lady. Graceful, confident, fluent conversations.
And this is important because so many women know English, they studied it in school, they understand it, but when it is time to actually speak, something happens.
The throat closes, the brain goes blank. You just smile and nod.
We have all done that.
Oh, I have absolutely done that. Someone asks me something in English and I just go, yes.
And you understood every word.
Every single word, but speaking felt scary. And that is exactly the pain point we want to talk about today.
Yes, many women feel like their English is not good enough or not elegant enough. They worry about their accent. They worry about making mistakes.
And we want to say very clearly, those worries are normal, but they do not have to stop you.
Today, we will give you real conversation practice, real phrases, real situations, and by the end of this episode, you will feel more confident.
More graceful, more fluent, like the lady you already are.
Let's begin.
Leo, let's talk about something that I think is super important for our listeners who work or who go to school, or really for anyone who talks to other people ever.
So, everyone.
Everyone. And that is how to disagree gracefully. Because sometimes you do not agree with what someone is saying, but you also do not want to sound rude.
This is such an important one because many people think you either agree and stay quiet or you disagree and start a fight.
Yes, like there is no middle ground. But there is, right?
There absolutely is. Disagreeing gracefully is actually one of the most powerful communication skills.
Okay, so how do you do it, Leo? When you disagree with someone, what do you say?
I usually start by acknowledging what they said. For example, I see your point, and I also think.
Ooh, I see your point. That is so good. Because you are not saying they are wrong. You are just saying, I hear you, and here is my view.
Exactly. Another phrase I love is, that's a really interesting perspective. I had a slightly different thought.
Slightly different thought. That is so smooth. It is not confrontational at all.
It leaves the door open. It keeps the conversation going.
Okay, for me, I used to say, no, that's not right. Very quickly, very directly.
Very Zubi.
Very Zubi, yes. And people would get defensive immediately.
Because they felt attacked.
Exactly. But now I try to say, that's interesting. I wonder if we could also look at it this way.
Oh, that is beautiful. I wonder if we could also look at it this way. That is an invitation, not an argument.
An invitation, yes. And honestly, people respond so much better.
The key word there is also. You are not replacing their view, you're adding to the conversation.
Also, not instead. I love that.
And notice, both of our phrases start with something positive. I see your point. That's interesting. I wonder.
So you always, what's the word? You always soften the opening?
Soften, yes. You cushion the disagreement so it does not land like a rock.
Like a rock. Poor rock.
The goal is your point gets heard, not your frustration.
Your point gets heard, not your frustration. That is so wise, Leo. I want that on a poster. Okay, Leo, let's talk about one of my favorite topics. Apologizing gracefully.
Oh, a very important one.
Yes, because I feel like there are two types of people. People who over-apologize for everything and people who never apologize enough.
Which type are you?
I was definitely the over-apologizer. I would say sorry for breathing.
Sorry for existing?
Look, sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. For things that were not even my fault.
That is very common, and it actually weakens your presence.
It does?
When you apologize for things that are not your fault, people start to think, is she unsure of herself? Does she not trust her own actions?
I'd never thought about that. So, over-apologizing can actually make you seem less confident?
Yes, a graceful apology is specific, sincere, and not repeated over and over.
Okay, so what does a graceful apology sound like?
For example, I apologize for the confusion, let me clarify. Or, I am sorry for the delay, here is the update.
Oh, short, clear, and then you move forward.
You acknowledge it, you do not dwell on it, you move forward.
And for smaller things, like if you bump into someone?
Simply, oh, excuse me, or I beg your pardon. Short and warm.
I beg your pardon. Ooh, that is so classy. I love it.
Very elegant, very British, actually, but works everywhere.
And on the other side, people who never apologize?
That is a different challenge, but the graceful approach is the same. When you are wrong, admit it simply and sincerely. I was wrong about that. I appreciate your patience.
Straightforward, no drama.
No drama, no big performance. Just, I was wrong, I am moving forward, I appreciate you.
Graceful people are not perfect. They're just very good at recovering.
Exactly. Recovering with dignity, that is the real skill.
Recovering with dignity. I love that, Leo. Leo, recap time. I love this part because we get to talk about each other. And Leo, I realized so many things about you today.
And I about you.
You go first. Okay, so I learned today that Leo, the calm, wise, composed Leo, actually finds small talk tiring.
I did say that.
I was genuinely surprised because you seem so natural in conversation, so at ease.
Practice. I have practiced so much that it looks easy, but it did not start easy.
And that is the lesson right there. What looks graceful on the outside took effort on the inside.
Exactly. A swan looks calm on the water, but underneath, the feet are moving very fast.
I love that image. You are a swan, Leo.
Thank you. And I learned something about you today, Zubi.
What did you learn?
I learned that you used to over-apologize, say sorry for everything. And I think that is connected to something deeper, not feeling like your space or your opinion deserved to be there.
Yeah, that is actually really true.
And that is something many of our listeners might feel too, like your presence needs to be apologized for.
But it does not.
It absolutely does not. You have every right to be in the room, to speak, to have opinions, to take up space.
Taking up space, not physically, but conversationally. Your voice deserves to be in the room.
Your voice deserves to be in the room. And when you believe that, your English will follow.
Okay, I also learned that Leo gives incredibly specific compliments. Like, you always notice the actual thing.
I try, because I want people to feel truly seen, not just generally praised.
You are so smart versus the way you broke down that problem was so clear. Night and day.
One is a label, the other is a moment. Moments are more meaningful.
Moments are more meaningful, yes. And I also noticed that you, Zubi, you have this ability to make people feel comfortable immediately. Your energy is so open.
Oh, thank you.
And that is also a kind of grace. Grace is not only about perfect words, it's about how people feel in your presence.
How people feel in your presence. Okay, that is the thing I want our listeners to remember most today.
Graceful conversation is not about impressing people, it's about making them feel good in your presence.
Yes, did they feel heard? Did they feel respected? Did they feel warm? That is the goal.
And you can do that with simple English, with 2 sentences, with a kind pause.
With a genuine compliment, with a thoughtful question, with a brave, I disagree, but I see your point.
All of these we practice today.
We practiced today, and our listeners, they were listening and practicing just by being here.
Listening is practice. It wires your brain. And the next time you are in a real conversation, these phrases will come more naturally.
Because your brain heard them already. It's like preloading.
Very tech-savvy way to put it.
I am a modern lady.
We love it. Okay, before we sign off, let's also quickly run through the shadowing tips, because the title of today's episode is about shadowing practice.
Yes, shadowing is a technique where you listen to a phrase and then repeat it out loud, matching the rhythm, the tone, the speed.
And it is so powerful for accent and fluency. Leo, can you demonstrate?
Of course. I'll say a phrase slowly, and our listeners can repeat after me. Zubi, you repeat too.
Yes, I will do it with you, everyone.
Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
Thank you. That is so kind of you to say.
Thank you. That is so kind of you to say.
I see your point, and I also think.
I see your point, and I also think.
Let me think for a moment. I want to give you a thoughtful answer.
Let me think for a moment. I want to give you a thoughtful answer.
Lovely to meet you. How has your day been?
Lovely to meet you. How has your day been? Okay, how did that feel, everyone? Because even just saying those phrases out loud, you already sound more graceful.
Your brain and your mouth are practicing together. That's how fluency grows.
Do that again at home. Pause the episode, rewind, repeat. Do it in the mirror. Do it while cooking. Do it while driving.
Every time you say it, it becomes more yours.
More yours. I love that. Okay, I want to say one last thing before our outro. And this is for anyone who started this episode feeling like, maybe this is not for me. Maybe Graceful English is for other women, not me.
It is for you.
It is absolutely for you. Whether you're a housewife or a CEO, whether you went to university or you learned English from YouTube, whether you're 18 or 45.
Grace has no qualification list. It's available to everyone.
Everyone. And today you took a step toward it by being here, by listening, by trying.
And that is already something to be proud of.
Genuinely proud of. You showed up for yourself today. That matters.
And tomorrow, show up again. One phrase, one conversation, one brave sentence.
One brave sentence, that's all it takes to begin.
And beginning is everything.
Beginning is everything. Okay, outro time. Leo, are you ready?
Ready.